It was the 1990s, a big show in a small town off I-75 in Georgia. They were called the biggest cocks in the henhouse. But things have changed since then. It's been 30 years, and they finally found a home here, like everyone else, doing a podcast. It's Erica and Mark, the phone call podcast thing.
Welcome back to yet another podcast of what used to be me and Mark's phone calls. Did we ever get a name for this?
So far it's Erica and Mark podcast. We were going to call it something, but
original.
then it would if you give it a name.
Yeah, lawyers.
Well, not only that, but then it would also require like subject matter that pertained to the name.
That sounds like a lot of work.
Well, I didn't realize I don't have the energy like I used to produce a show.
When did you have energy?
Well, maybe I'm not getting paid to produce a show.
Yeah, I think that's got a lot to do with it.
Yeah, it's like, okay, do I produce a podcast today, or do I watch another episode of Rockford before I call up my friend?
Oh my God,
Rockford it is.
Yes, this segment of Get Off My Lawn has been brought to you by Mark's Hawaiian Shirts. Mark's Hawaiian Shirts, in the closet since 1991.
Speaking of shirts, I didn't think I would ever run into this. I never thought, I have always been
shirts?
I've always been a bit of a poser to try to fit in, so I never really expected, but I know a good bit about music, and I like all kinds of music. So to get caught with
you
a
wearing a
poser
Shakira shirt? What were you wearing?
No, worse. The worst shirt you could possibly wear when you don't know anything about the band.
Taylor Swift.
No.
Lizzo.
No, not militant shirts.
Oh,
because those fans will rip you apart.
all right.
But okay, I bought this like foam green shirt on purpose. It was a T-shirt. Mm-hmm. And it had a band name on it. And I bought it on purpose because it matched my bathing suit. And that's all I bought it for, was just to wear with a bathing suit, because I had to have a cover up.
Mark in a bathing suit with a cover up. This is getting sexy. All right, I'm going to sit back. Let's keep going, buddy.
So I've got my swimsuit on. I've got my cover up shirt on. And then I get asked, when did you see him last, man?
Who?
Exactly. The
who?
freaking Grateful Dead.
Oh,
I had a Dead shirt on. Oh, I don't even know what to do with it now. I can never wear it again. I'm so afraid.
Where were you? In Walmart, or where were you?
No, this was just at a beach.
Yeah,
type
wearing
situation.
A Dead shirt to the beach.
Yes, and I didn't think nothing of it because I see teenagers wearing Floyd shirts. I'm sure they don't know a thing about Pink Floyd.
So you think you're a teenager, is what I'm hearing. Well, you're like a teenager.
Oh, I do. I have a lot of, I'm wearing my Ramones shirt right now. I'm familiar with the Ramones.
All right, right now, name 3 Ramones songs. Go.
I Want to Be Sedated, Rock and Roll High School, and let me think. Pet Cemetery.
All right, that's a stretch on that third one.
I actually watched Rock and Roll High School, the movie. It was actually pretty bad.
Yeah,
but they're fun. They're a fun band.
They're awesome. You know what? They are good music for kids because they're like, everything's really fast. All the songs are 2 minutes long.
Yeah, they were the
and they're fun.
ADHD before it was actually a thing.
Oh, I love the Ramones. My little internet radio station probably plays 20 Ramones songs.
You want to hear a Ramones song?
I kind of now.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Yeah. It's all 3/4 time, by the way. There's no 4/4 time Ramones songs.
Oh, they were not even worried about it.
Nah, they didn't have any. We don't have time for another beat. It's either 2/4 or 3/4 time with those songs, or 7/8.
And it's like, but the guy starts asking me, tells me, I went to see him in Chicago, and he's a deadhead, what they would call a deadhead.
So what you learned is don't wear those shirts because you're just going to attract stoners.
Well, just people that want to talk.
Yeah. Stoners.
And I just don't know. And I didn't know what to say because then I felt like I had to play part of it. So I started to try to buffalo my way through it. And I
Oh no!
like,
Now it's
yes.
worse. You're just digging yourself off. Well, Jerry Berry was the man, guy. What did you do? Tell me.
Well, I just like said, yeah, well, that was, they were the days.
Oh.
Very wide open comments.
See, the thing to say to when somebody says it is, well, if you can remember a Dead show, were you really at the Dead show?
Oh, that's a good one. I can wear
There
my
you go.
shirt again.
Yeah, write that down. You're going to need that because you should write it down too at your age because you're not going to remember it.
Yeah, I gotta get it to my phone. It's like a text it to myself.
Yeah. Hold on a second, son. I'll be able to respond to your question about the last time I saw them. Let me check my notes. And it says, oh, yes, if you could remember a show, you weren't really there.
Yeah, it's just you gotta watch things now. It's like it's just I have to watch what I wear.
Maybe I'm wittier. Am I wittier than you? Is that I don't worry about these things. I always have a snappy, smart-ass comment for everybody.
I do until I'm getting caught. And I felt like I was getting caught.
It's like you're wearing a dress in pain. Really?
I really felt like I was way out of line. Like I should have never done that.
You wanted to take the guy's side, put your arm around and say, look, man, I never saw a Dead show. I'm so sorry.
I'll wear it inside out.
What are you doing? I'm sorry. I'm appropriating your culture. I apologize. This isn't what I am at all.
That's the funny thing about it. Like I don't buy into any of the appropriating culture, but all of a sudden I bought into it.
You
and
did.
It was with the Dead.
Yeah.
Of all the people that care about the Dead fans.
Clearly, you do buy into the appropriating other people's cultures. And I mean, what's next? You're going to wear Indian headdress and cry when you see litter on the road? It's going to be you.
Or right on pick for my hair.
My God. You've never seemed older to me than you do right now. And you've always seemed old to me. This is getting ridiculous.
Well, I'm not dead old. Apparently, I'm not that old. So.
Not the dead old. Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, that was pretty embarrassing. I'm going to tell you, I was just like, when am I going to get out? And it looked like there was no out because he wanted to talk about the show so bad. So I pulled we got to go. We just got there like 5 minutes and it's like, I got to go.
I got to go, man. You're giving me anxiety, man. I got to get back to the microbus and dose a little bit, man. And, hey, you got something for my tongue this time, or what are we doing? We going to shoot it?
And my wife, who's been to about 20 shows, of course, bails me and doesn't even try to bail me out.
Your lovely wife was a deadhead?
Yes.
Oh, I like her even more now.
Yes. Been to,
jeez,
I think 24 shows.
You married up.
I sure did.
Yeah. 24 shows. Oh,
I always fall down and then end up.
I can't wait to hang out with her. Does she drink at all or no?
Wine.
Oh, so I can drink wine with her.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
She likes to drink her wine.
I'll do that. Tell her I like Italian wine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very snobby.
I don't.
But you know what I'm not going to do.
Red
Mark?
and white. That's all I know.
I'm not going to wear an Italian wine shirt because, frankly, I'm not that educated. I let other people pick my wine for me. So I'm not going to get any conversations. Oh, you know all about the Chateau what the fuck from that region of Italy. Sure.
No, I
have to go.
You ever heard my wife order wine? You know she doesn't really know what she's talking about.
It's perfect. We'll get along famously.
She says, "Well, what is your choice?" That's what she always tells the waitress or the waiter.
Oh, what do you like? Oh, that is a good one. That's how the waiter knows. Like, oh, this person doesn't know shit. Let's just sell them whatever we have too much of.
Whenever I get the bigger buck on.
Yeah, this one's only $75 a glass. It's delicious. I was going to say I have to be careful wearing like car shirts to my car things because, if I wear a McLaren T-shirt and I get out of my Cadillac, people are going to say, "Oh, what kind of McLaren do you have?" And I'll be like, "I have a Cadillac. It's orange. It's like a McLaren, but it's it's got 4 wheels and it's orange."
Did they call you out that at a car show? Like, is that?
No, I don't know. I don't know if I've ever been, maybe I have.
I find it hard to believe anybody stumped you at a car show.
Maybe I have worn the BMW M shirt to a car show without driving a BMW M car. I don't know. Yeah, that's not really a thing. Car people don't really really bust each other's chops about that kind of thing. It just means that, hey, I like that car. That's all it means. Like if you were wearing a Lizzo shirt, I would assume you liked Lizzo. Just like the stoner assumed you liked the Grateful Dead.
Yeah.
See, at least I can bullshit my way through it. I gotta go. That's all you got out of all these, all your years of experience have led up to this moment, and all you got is I gotta go.
Yeah. Well, just flashed me back to the time when I was young and my dad would catch me in stuff, and it was like, oh,
Well, I gotta go.
nice seeing you, Pop.
Don't make me laugh. I'm still getting over my cold.
Another thing too is I can't, that's bad for me is when I wear my I own Harley, and when I wear, and if I pull up on my Harley, or if I'm wearing a Harley shirt, I'm in some place and someone's like just pull over to get a bottle of water or something like that, while you're on a long ride, and hey, is that your bike out there? Yeah. What is it? It's a Tom. So I know what year it is. I know what this, and then I go, yeah, I had a 65 sewing shovel head.
I had a 65 full dresser shovel head with a pan seat and sissy bars. Like,
I don't have zero idea what that is. I seen the one that looks like a bicycle.
Yeah.
But I'm not a gearhead. When they ask you, so what do you do when you get down? And I was like, no, I just take my stuff to Harley, and then they look at you like, what is wrong with you?
You know
don't
what
work
I want to say?
on your own bike? It's like
everybody
no.
I see wearing a Harley t-shirt, I have to stop myself every time because I know I'm gonna get my ass beat. I just want to look at them and say, hey, watch for cars.
That's true.
It's not our jobs to watch for motorcycles. You're smaller. You watch for us. How about that? Where's the yellow sticker that says watch for cars with a motorcycle symbol on it? Because we need to sell that and make a fortune. Because the motorcycle rarely wins that one.
Mad. No.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't want to get my ass beat again.
But actually, I do. I actually do watch for cars because you're exactly right. They're going to pull out in front of you. I just assume everybody around me and in front of me are going to try to kill me.
Do you have the famous T-shirt that every motorcycle guy has that says on the back? Do you know what it says on the back?
What's that?
The bitch fell off. Do you have that T-shirt?
No, I don't have that one. No.
Oh, so you just have a little class.
Yes, a little.
Did you ever think about getting one of those? Do you know somebody with one of those?
I've seen them before. To me, that's kind of funny. I've seen them mainly on patches on vests and stuff. The ones that get me, honestly, that make me laugh a little bit is the Sons of Anarchy shirts.
Oh yeah,
and vests.
Yeah, you better not be wearing a cut unless you earned that cut and you're in that organization, or that could go badly for you.
I'm going to tell you right now, that is very true. That is extremely true. You cannot. You better not.
You can't appropriate that culture. You will get killed.
They end that one pretty quick.
Yeah, there is a swift code right there that one better adhere to.
When I rode with that motorcycle association,
it was a gang. Let's be honest.
And we had to when we were invited to places for where there were actually to clubs for parties and stuff like that.
I need to know more about this.
A lot of times we didn't even wear because there's so many rules. And
wait, so you guys had cuts? What did it say on the back?
It said it was I don't know if I want to say the name of the thing, but it was the name of the organization up top, and then the bottom rocker said Fort Myers.
Interesting.
But you weren't. We had permission from the.
Let's say the God Squad is what it said.
We had permission from the local motorcycle chapter club to be able to wear those vests around there. But
to appropriate their culture.
The minute you go into like Sebring or some, in the center of the state, now you're once you're out of that county or that area, then you have to have other people too. So you get to the point where you just don't wear it.
God, there's a lot of rules with you guys on motorcycles.
There's a lot of rules, and people don't realize how it's very, very serious.
Oh, no, I realize that. I'll be riding down the road every once in a while when I'm over on the east coast of Florida, and I'll see a couple of guys wearing Outlaws cuts, and I'm like, well, I'm certainly going to just wave to them and let them have right of way. Whatever they want to do, have at it, fellas. Good to see you. Ride safe.
And the people I knew that were actually in clubs were always pretty cool with me and stuff like that. You know, working in radio, they knew.
I've never had a bad encounter. No.
Never, no, not at all.
Me either.
But I never
No.
crossed them either. So
Right. I mean, but everybody I've ever met that rides a bike or even associates with, let's just say, a more seedier element of that hobby.
yeah.
They have all been the nicest people you will ever meet. They'll do anything for you.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. And they're one of the most charitable.
Yep.
Too, when it comes to like rides for kids or whatever, anything like that. I've done a lot of different rides, for raising money for the hospital, kids ward and stuff like that. I mean, they're one of the first people out there. Got tons of money put in there and everything like that. But it's a business, and that's their business, and just like a lot of other people in business.
Don't ask any questions.
They don't want
about
you walking. Yeah, they don't want you interfering in their business.
Yeah, I don't blame them.
And that's the end of it. But it's
the motorcycle was like your daily driver, wasn't it? You didn't have a truck or anything for a while, did you?
No, I was actually without a car for almost 2 years.
How did you get through the winter and the cold, and the rain?
Well, I bought believe it or not, I bought a snowsuit, a ski suit. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I bought that for the winter time, and then of course I have rain gear. Full rain gear, pants and jacket.
This is just exhausting
and stuff. So yeah, but the winter thing was pretty nice to have. Now, what was bad about it was, even with rain gear or whatever you have, you're gonna get muddy and wet anyway.
I thought you were gonna say your underwear soaked.
So and your underwear, yeah. So you had to carry that stuff in a backpack.
Yeah.
And then I put my jacket on over my backpack. So whenever I got to work, I go in the bathroom, strip down, dry myself off.
Oh, my God.
Get the mud off me, and then put my new clean clothes on and go from there.
So you were like
one
level above. Yeah, what's one level above what homeless people do? That's what you were. You were homeless.
Yeah. It was, if it wasn't for my father, passing when he did, and then I inherited his, that blazer from him.
Thought you were going to say his underwear.
Yeah, 2,000 blazer and some extra underwear.
I inherited extra underwear. I was good. I had always had fresh underwear.
Never ran out. Thank you, Dad.
It's quite the inheritance. Never paid taxes on it.
No. What's the true value of used underwear anyway?
Yeah. True value underwear. All right, let's take a break here before we talk about underwear more, please. Can we?
Yeah. We'll be right back.
Erica and Mark. The phone call.
Okay, we're back, and
you might wonder where we go during these little breaks since we don't really have any sponsors. Well, Mark is old and he pees a lot, so you can go.
I'm on a diuretic.
You can go about 20 minutes.
I'm on a diuretic.
That's about it.
And I constantly drink water.
Yeah.
All right. So the other day, I think, this sounds like it's like a normal story because I saw something strange at Walmart.
Oh, wow. Shocking. You're kidding.
I know. They have Facebook pages dedicated
There's
to
a
this.
whole website called People of Walmart, which is one of my favorite things on the internet.
I was, you've been in a Walmart before. I'm sure everybody's been in a Walmart. So you come in and the grocery side, as soon as right on your right-hand side.
Well, it depends, though, because some of them are backwards.
Okay. But, usually when you walk in one of the doors, there's always the produce section.
Yeah.
Okay. So my wife starts there and she's looking for veggies and stuff like that. So I kind of just park myself out of the way because it's usually pretty crowded and they've got multiple roadways.
You're watching for cars as a motorcycle rider.
So, yes.
I understand.
So there's a lady and she gets a bag. You know how the grapes come in a bag? Sometimes a Ziploc bag. Okay. She pulls the vine out of the bag. Okay. And she's inspecting it and she's pulling individual grapes off, I guess, that are not perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And she's putting them in a pile, right? And then she opens up another bag and pulls that out. And then she starts doing the same thing from there. And then she takes the one from the leftover from the second bag that's still good and puts it in the first bag.
She's only picking the good grapes.
Yes, and then she takes the group of grapes that are on the ground and on the floor and on the everywhere, because there's not really a table made for this, and puts them back in the other bag.
You are quite the detective, man.
So she's in the this is the purple grape section, right? And it's a huge thing, and it's not just that. This went on for a minimal of 15 minutes.
The hell's your
Going
wife
through
spending
each
15
bag.
minutes on?
Oh, well, she's got to get the right herbs, and then it's sometimes she has to get, find it. And then if she
That's
can't
right. Yeah,
find
you
it,
guys live in New
yeah.
Orleans. You're casting spells or something.
Yes.
I understand.
After that's done, I think, well, this is odd. She proceeds to the green grape section and starts the process all over again. To her, I'm assuming she has 2 completely full bags of perfect grapes.
Sounds like she's making fine wine at home.
Yeah. Now, meanwhile, if you're coming in next, there's about 20 misplaced grape bags that are short and full of dead grapes.
All because of Suzette over here, who's anal for grapes.
Yeah, and Suzette. When you call somebody in produce, it's not a Karen, it's a Suzette. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so because there's a Suzette there, I'm going to write that down.
She's fancy, so she's Suzette. She's not Susan or Sue.
I never seen anything like that in my life.
No, you got to go to Walmart more. That's the least weird thing you'll see at my Walmart.
My wife doesn't. She looks over everything before she buys everything from the organic section, and it's got it's got that.
It's got to keep you alive, is what she's doing.
She's trying to.
Getting you healthy
I don't know
food.
why. I'm sure I'm worth more dead than alive, but she's got this. She goes to what I call a thunderstorm section.
What?
You don't know about the thunderstorm section? So you don't buy good vegetables. If you
I'm gonna confess to something right now. I don't go to Walmart. There's a Walmart 5 minutes from where I live. I never go because
Whole Foods.
No, man, I got a fucking Publix.
Oh, okay.
Like a grown up.
We don't have Publix in Louisiana.
Is there another grocery store other than Publix?
Well, we have Whole Foods and we have.
Yeah, I go there once in a while. I go to Trader Joe's
and things like that mostly, but the thunderstorm section it's interesting because it'll have a little beep sound and then you'll hear a thunder clap, right? And then
it sprays the wet rack,
and it rains.
Okay, so here's something you might not remember about me is when I was in high school and college.
You worked in
I did. I worked at Albertsons in the produce department, and I was the one who set up that wet rack. Only back in my day, we used a hose with a nozzle, and we had to go out there every so often and spray down the wet rack to make sure it stayed fresh. They've automated that process, huh?
Yes, and it comes complete with a thunderstorm. I like it.
You know that they laid somebody off to do that. That pisses me off.
Yeah, because you paid your way through broadcasting school.
I made so much money at Albertsons, it was obscene. In 1986, I was making like $15 an hour.
Wow.
I know. Because
that's a lot of money in 1986.
I had a new car. I had money. It was great. I loved Albertsons.
And you worked at the one right there on
Oakland Park Boulevard at Dixie Highway.
Right there where the school was.
Fort Lauderdale, yes.
Yes.
I also worked at one in Bradenton when I was in high school, over on the West Coast.
Wow.
Yeah, I transferred over there from the one on the West Coast. And because I was an assistant manager at the one in Bradenton, they made me a part-time person over at the one in Fort Lauderdale when I was in college.
Right.
And they forgot to change my rate of pay, so I never said anything. And it just kind of continued like that. And then I got into radio and took a massive pay cut. I mean, I was making a third of what I was making in at the grocery store.
Didn't you tell them you were assistant manager at Albertsons?
They didn't care. They didn't care at all. Something like, well, go back to effing Albertsons is what they would say to me.
It's funny, though, when you think about it, because I did the exact same thing, too. Was not as far as working in produce, but sort of.
You weren't making big money like I was, though, were you?
I was making really good money, legal money, but I made a lot of money before I got in the radio.
Illegal or legal?
Illegal.
Oh, that's the best kind of money. I have to pay taxes on that.
Yeah.
I had to pay taxes.
I was a nightclub disc jockey, but then I also had a little storefront.
Look, we can't talk about that. The statute of limitations might not have run out on whatever you're about to talk about. I don't want to see you go to jail.
Yeah, that would be sucky because that would all be my luck.
It would, because that cocaine could lead to a murder somewhere.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I mean, a storefront.
That's
what I was selling.
What
really
did I say? Cocaine?
Grapes.
Yeah.
So
I didn't mean.
I told you. I said we both sold produce.
Right. That's technically true. We sold
a storefront.
Oh man, so my daughter works in retail now, and she talks about all the shoplifting that goes on and how they're kind of powerless against it. And I said, "Oh, you want to hear some stories? Back in my day, back in a decade called the 1980s, back in the 19s, as you kids call them, when we would have shoplifters come in the store in Bradenton, we would catch them, and the managers would take them into the back room or upstairs into the back room. I have seen shoplifters tied to a chair before while they're getting backhanded by the managers, who are just swearing at them and just generally giving them a good workup to the point where they didn't kill them and they didn't put any bruises on them, but these people left with their asses thoroughly kicked. I saw one guy get thrown in a dumpster after they threw him down the stairs. There was another guy. I didn't really participate in this because I was just, I was like a kid. But there was one time where I inadvertently got involved. And I had this 1973 Pontiac Grand Prix. Huge car. Bigger than my first apartment. Had a big 455 engine. You could land a helicopter on the hood of this car. So I'm working late at night, and I'm up toward the front of the store. And I have my car keys in my pocket. And this guy just comes running by me really fast, and he's got a purse in his hand that he shouldn't have. So I yelled at one of the night guys, and I said, "Hey, shoplifter!" And he comes running after me. We both jump in my car, and this guy's booking, man. He's made it all the way across the road. Now he's in the mall parking lot across the road, and we're catching him. And now he's in a big mall parking lot. He's got nowhere to go. So I'm driving right next to him. He's right off of my passenger side fender. And the guy that I'm with...
Did you clip him?
So the guy that I'm with, he had grabbed a big bottle of wine on the way out the door to hit him with. And so he's hanging out of the window of my car with this bottle of wine and just whips it at him and hits him square in the back.
Oh.
And this guy's at full freaking trot, man. And he loses his footing. And the next thing I know, there's asses and elbows going over the hood of my car. And I hear the wine bottle smash, and the guy lands on the pavement. He's all cut up and bleeding and just laying there going, "Oh!" And it gets worse. And then I see the blue light from the Manatee Sheriff's deputy turn on the top of his car, who's at the other side of the parking lot, who must have seen the whole thing. So the cop comes flying over there. We're getting out of the car. The guy that was in the car with me has his knee on this dude's neck. He's ready to beat his ass if he gets up and moves. And the purse is laying there right next to him. So the cop comes up, and I'm like, "I'm going to jail. He totally saw me run that guy over. Oh, my God. What am I going to do?"
No.
So cop gets out of the car, and he just says, "Hey, that guy ran right out in front of your car. Is your car okay?" And I looked up, and I said, "Mike, how are you, buddy?" It was the produce department girl's boyfriend, Mike, who I already knew. And Mike is just like, "Seriously, is your car okay? Because that guy jumped out right in front of your car. What happened?" I said, "I don't know, man. He came out of nowhere."
He's a shoplifter too.
And I said, and also that perch doesn't match his outfit at all. He took it from some lady at the store across the street. So this guy's laying there bleeding and cut up and full of road rash. And the cop is putting the handcuffs on him, worried about me scratching my car. That's what things were like in the 1980s.
Yeah.
Times have changed. If that had happened now, I would get sued. The mall would get sued for having a parking lot that he could run into.
Right.
Albertsons would get sued because they provided him a customer to shoplift the purse out of her cart from.
The lady that had the purse would get sued for not holding on her purse tight enough.
So I'm thinking, okay, maybe this is an isolated thing. This store is in, Bradenton. We're in a little bit of a rough neighborhood.
Right.
Maybe this only happens here. So when I transferred over to Fort Lauderdale, I realized that this is a universal thing. They used to beat the shit out of them in Fort Lauderdale. They didn't care if they walked out of there bloody or, I saw a guy I swear his arm got broke when they were hitting this guy.
Wow.
They would take these shoplifters and throw them out of the back after they were done beating on him and say, "If you ever come back here, we'll kill you." And they were not kidding, man. These guys loved beating up shop. These managers at these stores got off on beating up these shoplifters.
So but I bet, did they keep the
we
the
didn't
theft
we
down?
didn't really have a huge shoplifting problem. It was a very rare occasion. But when it happened, it's like, oh, we get to make an example out of somebody.
Wow.
And everybody knew what was going on. Nobody did anything about it.
See, when I was, I shoplifted once when I was like 7 or 8. I stole gum. And my mom made me go back and give it to the manager. And then the manager handed me a broom and made me sweep the entire store.
Well, that'll cover shoplifting for Mark.
Well, that was the end of that. Until I turned to be a teenager. Then we would steal bottles of MD 2020.
Oh, little Mad Dog.
On a Friday or Saturday night, for the night. And put it in our pants. But that was about it. But it never... no, I can't say I never shoplifted. That's called as being a shoplifter.
I don't know if I really did it either, but my neighbor kid, Tommy, did. We would go to the mall on Tuesday night for piano lessons. And there's nobody in the mall on a Tuesday night. And there was nobody in Sears ever on a Tuesday night. And Sears had a big record department back then. So
I remember that.
After I was done with my piano lessons, Tommy was there waiting. So me and Tommy would just go walking around the mall, and we would inevitably end up at Sears. And one night, Tommy had this great idea to grab a big bag from underneath the register and just start filling it up with albums. And then we just walked out with all these albums. And I'm like, you're going to get in trouble. And he's like, no, I'm not. Nobody saw anything. Nobody cares. Tommy would steal albums. I don't know how many hundreds of albums. I'm like, I was too much of a pussy to do it. There was no way.
Yeah.
But Tommy, man, he did not care. Tommy's also the reason I had a gun pointed in my face once.
What?
Yeah, when I was a kid, I don't know, I was probably 14. And there was this old dude who would like fix trees. He lived in this house out in the woods.
Right.
On this like back road. And everybody knew who he was. His name was Joe. And if you had a tree that was dying, maybe your tree got hit by lightning or a branch blew off, Joe would come over and he would cut the tree up and put it in his truck and, put the stuff on the tree to make sure the tree wouldn't rot or get, bugs or whatever. He was like, I was one of these tree guy. I don't know. Guy was just some crazy old dude. We didn't, what the hell do we know? We're 14. So one day, and he'd been to our house before fixing one of our trees, so I knew who he was. One day I get a knock on the back door of my house, and I'm home by myself, and I open up the door, and there's a big revolver pointed right at my face.
Oh.
And I just like, oh. And I didn't freeze or run, or I didn't run, I just froze.
Right.
And I looked around the gun, and it's Joe. And he said, I know you're the one been breaking into my house and stealing my liquor. And if I see you in there, I'm going to kill you. I just wanted you to know you better stop. And it had been my stupid friend Tommy who was stealing albums. I knew it was him,
right?
Because he was breaking into that dude's house, but he was doing it to get the liquor and look at all of his porno magazines.
You're not a rat, are you? You didn't rat him out?
No, I'm not gonna rat him out. I mean, it's just a gun in my face. He didn't shoot me, so I'm just like, Mister, I don't know what you're talking about, but that's not me. And you can shoot me if you want. You won't see me in there. That's not what I do. And he puts his gun down and he just walks away.
Wow.
So yeah, not the last time I had a gun pointed at me, but yeah, that was the first time. And I immediately go over to Tommy's and I'm like, you just got a guy point a gun at my face, you asshole. What's wrong with you? Stop breaking into that guy's house or he's going to kill you.
I've only had it one time, and that was when I was collecting money for a finance company.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, you're knocking on people's doors saying, hey, give me the money?
Yeah.
Really? That's a thing. That sounds
it
super
used to
dangerous.
be, yeah. It used
That's
to be.
super dangerous.
I got the stop sign where I guess you're not supposed to really stop when you don't live there in that neighborhood. And a guy rode up on was riding his bike, and he just pulled right in front of me with his bicycle and pulled a gun on me. He was trying to rob me, and I just stepped on it and I ran him over. Ran his bike over. Didn't hit him.
I mean,
I just whipped it to the side, and so I caught his front wheel and just pushed him and the bike over, and I just took off.
Was this in the 70s or the 80s?
This would have been in the late 70s, early 80s.
So what I'm hearing from you is you would have made a fine manager at Albertsons.
Yes.
You had the right attitude. You were Albertsons material is what I'm hearing. You really messed up. Let's take a break.
All right. We'll be back.
Erica and Mark. The phone call.
All right, we're back for one last segment here. We like to play one of our old bits from the Macon, Georgia radio days. That's 30 years ago now, almost.
It's just hard to believe that was over 30 years ago.
I was a kid and you were merely a middle-aged man.
Yeah, actually, I was in my I was, because I guess so, right? Because I was in my 30s.
Yeah, if you lived to be 80, you're late 30s. I was 21.
Were you really?
No. I just wanted to see the look on your face.
I was like, crap.
I think you and I are about 8 years apart.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
You're old enough to be my daddy if we were from Macon, Georgia. So I did have an encounter with a gun in Macon once, speaking of guns, and it made me think of it when we were telling that story a minute ago.
Really?
I almost shot somebody in Macon. I never told you this. This is when I was working with you, too.
Really?
Yes. So
you didn't tell me about it, or you probably talked to me about it, and I was so into my own crap I never paid attention.
Look, man, I'm not here to shame you, but yes.
That's what I thought. That makes more sense. You have so many stories, and it's like I act like it's the first time I'm hearing it.
Yeah,
because it really is. Because it's the first time I'm listening.
Yeah. Oh, did that affect me? No, I forgot all about it.
God, I'm so sorry.
That's all right. This is step 13, isn't it, in the 12-step program?
Yeah. Well, no, 13 is if we have to go to bed, but together. But no.
No, we're not doing that.
No.
All right. So anyway, so we're in Macon. It's the mid 90s.
Okay.
And I had this. Remember the beautiful teal, blue, green Cobra Mustang I had?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm driving that. I've got this teal 93 Cobra Mustang. It's still my favorite car I've ever had to this day. And we were downtown at a show at the Elizabeth Reed Music Hall next to the Rookery.
Okay.
And it was late, and I was coming out of there. It's probably 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was by myself because I think it was after the Kevin Kinney Driving and Crying show.
Oh, okay.
If I recall correctly, and I hadn't really been drinking, so I was fine to drive. I'm sitting at one of the red lights to get up to the interstate to get home.
Right.
And I'm on a really steep hill, and there's a lot of traffic. I guess there's a lot of all the bars were closing at that time, and there was just a lot of cars. And I look at my rearview mirror, and there's this black dude is just running back and forth behind my car, and he's just kind of in the middle of the street, and there's a car behind me and a car in front of me, so I can't go anywhere. And then I see another black dude who looks pretty mean, wearing red, coming at me. And we had a big Crip problem in Macon back in the day.
Yeah.
And he's walking right up to me, and he's got his hand back behind his back, and I got my 38 Special sitting here shoved between my seat and my console.
Right.
And I had illegally dark windows. I had 5% tint on those windows back then for a reason, because I want nobody to see me in that car.
Right.
So this dude goes up to my car, and he's knocking on my window saying, "Hey, knock, 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 hey." And I'm just ignoring him, and the light is still red. And I'm like, I turned green. So now he takes his fist, and he starts pounding on my window, and he's about to break it.
Yeah, he was trying to carjack you.
Yeah, so I still can't see his other hand. I know he's about to carjack me. So this is where the problem is. I am left-handed, and this is happening on my driver's side window. So I got to pick up my 38 Special with my right hand that I don't really, it's not my dominant hand. I don't shoot well with my right hand. I can shoot with my right hand, but not well. So rule number 1 when you have a gun is you never point the gun at anything that you're not about to shoot. And I totally violated this rule because I was about to shoot this guy. So I roll the window down because he's beating on it with his fist. All he sees, he's about 2 feet away from a 38 Special. And all I can think about is, this is the loudest gun that I have ever fired in my life, and it's right in front of my face. If I have to shoot this, I'm going to be deaf for the rest of my life.
Right.
It's when I would go to the range and shoot that gun, everybody would stop and look down like, what the hell was that? It's like, just a 38 over here. Everything's fine. Mm-hmm. I know what I'm doing. So my window rolls down, and my finger is on the trigger, and the gun is pointed right at this guy's face. And I said, "Can I fucking help you?" And he's just like, "Whoa, hey, whoa, whoa, whoa." And I said, "What's behind your back there? What's in your other hand?" And he wouldn't show me. And I said, "You better back up, and you better tell your buddy who's running back and forth behind my car that I hope he knows how to drive stick, because this is not an automatic. And his friend is about to get shot in the face if he comes any closer." And he's like, "Whoa." And then they both just ran.
Wow.
And I was like, my heart's beating fast, and the light turns green. And I'm like, terrible timing on the red light, man. And I just violated my number one rule. Don't point the gun at something you're not about to shoot. But I was scared, man. I was genuine. I'm scared thinking about it.
No, I don't, man. No. That's man. That.
Yeah,
Holy
I was
cow.
more scared of losing that Cobra. They only made 4,993 of those, and it was really hard to find one in the color I had. So, yeah.
That was, because anywhere near downtown or just outside of downtown.
Yeah, late at night, shiny Mustang.
Yeah.
Not surprised it happened. I'm waiting for it to happen in the Cadillac now.
Could. Unfortunately, it could.
I carry 2 guns in the Cadillac now, just for such an occasion.
Yeah, it's just I'm a firm believer in the stand your ground law.
Mm-hmm.
It has to happen.
Oh, I don't want to ever have to shoot. I don't want the karma of having shot somebody.
No,
but if
I don't want to.
If it's going to be you or me, it ain't going to be me. That's
Right.
the way I look at it.
No, and I think that's the way it should be, because they're the laws that they make are not for us. It's for, we're the only ones going to pay attention to it anyway.
Yeah. And I don't think I ever told that story on the air because I don't want the police coming to ask me questions. And technically, I was guilty of aggravated assault.
Yeah, because they didn't have that back then.
No, but I was guilty, man. I was guilty of pointing the gun at somebody, and that is aggravated assault.
Oh, wait a minute.
They did have it back then.
Yes, no, I'm talking about the statute of limitations may not.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
So it was really a banana.
No, it was a Smith & Wesson.
Oh. You ain't scared.
No, I mean, I'm sure that the guy who did this is now either dead or 12 stepping with you, one of the two. I don't know, but
or in the prison system.
So with that happy thought, let's play a dumb bit that I still don't know why people listen to from our show from back in the mid 1990s and the 1900s.
Time, weather, and always.
Don't hang up though. You'll get a kick out of this.
All right. Hello, who's this?
Hey, it's Dewy, man.
Dewy. We thought you moved away or you were in a coma or something. How have you been, Dewy?
Sleeping.
Just hibernating for the winter, huh?
Hey, I looked outside this morning, man.
Yeah.
There's all this yellow stuff.
Yeah, that's pollen. It's all over everything.
On my
Yeah.
car.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's all up.
If
It's
I
all up
had
my
a car,
nose.
and it's on the walkway.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
everywhere. It's everywhere.
Really weird stuff, man.
Yeah. I'm surprised you haven't noticed it before.
So can I smoke that?
Well, I guess you.
I guess
you probably could.
I guess so. I don't know. I've never tried smoking
get like
Kind of roll it up in some notebook paper? Because there's a lot of it, man.
big Cheech and Chong pollen thing going, huh?
Can I do that? That'd be all right.
Well, I wouldn't suggest you do it, but you've done other things we've told you
I
not to
think I'll
do.
go collect a little and try it.
That might mess. Are you? Do you have any kind of allergies at all?
I don't know, man, but I got the sniffles.
Yeah. See, I don't know if that's such a good idea. If you smoke that stuff, your head just might swell up and
What if I
explode.
brought a whole bunch to the recycling bin? Can I get paid?
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
Well, now you want to gather it up and sell it. Oh, that's
Can
good.
they recycle it, man?
I don't know, do we? You might want to just gather up a whole pickup load and go see.
Where does it come from, dude?
Flowers and
Flowers, trees, birds and the bees kind of thing. We could tell you, but we'd have to kill you.
No, don't do that, man.
Okay, man, don't worry. Well, Dewey, we hope everything works out. Let us know if that stuff is smokable, though, okay?
Yeah, what'd you call it again?
It's pollen. Pollen.
Not potton. Pollen.
Pollen.
Poland?
No, pollen. Poland is a country in Europe.
Right.
Right, that's a whole different thing,
Yeah,
man.
I'm
right.
going to go smoke some of that Poland.
Okay, Dewey, you knock yourself right out, man.
Hey, can I get a CD?
Yeah. Hang on the phone a second, God.
Well, there you go. That's what radio was like 30 years ago, kids.
Still love that dude. Oh my gosh.
My voice sounds terrible.
I have to. I don't know how, but I have to figure out how to find him.
Who, the guy that almost shot in the face?
No. Yeah. One as a guest.
Oh, you mean Dewey?
Yeah, Dewey.
Yeah, Dewey was great, man. He was always out to smoke anything, to smoke anything with something else. That was all he wanted. He was all about getting high.
See, he could have been wearing a dead shirt,
Yeah, he probably still is somewhere.
and everything would have been fine.
Mark, he was a fake character, right? He was a friend of yours?
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right. Never mind.
that's all fake 90s radio. All right, let's wrap this up. We've yammered on long enough. This has been a very long podcast for everyone listening, including me.
Long phone call.
Yeah, very long phone call. It's a good thing we're not paying for toll calls anymore. Remember those days? Why is the phone bill $300 this month? God damn it. Heard that more than once.
If it was, we'd have to talk to each other 8 o'clock Sunday evening.
Right, yeah. Make sure, yeah. And make sure you reverse.
No one knows what that even means.
Reverse the charges because I don't want that on my bill. Nobody knows what that means either.
Can I, when you would call and ask for yourself?
I have a collect call from Erica.
No, I'm not going to accept the charges, and that meant you got home safe.
When I used to call my family when they were living in Florida and I was living in Macon, I didn't have any money for a phone bill. So the deal that my parents and I had was on Sundays I would call and let the phone ring once and I would hang up.
I remember that. Yeah.
So they knew to immediately call me back because that was cheaper than me call and collect.
Yeah.
And doing a whole reverse the charges thing. I'm sure I saved them at least 25 cents a phone call back then.
Hey, every bit counts.
God, the world used to be so weird. People think the world's weird now. It used to be weird then. It used to be weirder.
Yeah.
So many rules these kids don't know. These damn kids.
They don't have rules, these kids.
They don't know. They don't know what rules are. Their only rules are, what do you mean I'm out of data on my phone?
Yeah.
All right. I'm out of data for this podcast. Let's hang up the phone and we'll talk again soon.
Yeah, I'll talk to you next week.
Nice talking to you, buddy.
We're sorry. It is not necessary to dial a 1 when calling this number. Will you please hang up and try your call again?
Erica and Mark, the phone call.